Hello friend, welcome back to Auto Resource channel. Welcome back to Project Impreza. I'm pretty sure you recognize our 2002 Impreza RS. And one of the things I think should be done ASAP is, actually it's a ton of them, but today let's go and try to see what condition is the automatic transmission fluid. Let's replace the filter and do that basic, simple automatic transmission service. And why I am kind of impatient and choosing it in one of the first ones, that's the fact that the previous owner, when I was buying it, had no idea where automatic transmission dipstick is, and he said he was the owner of this vehicle for 7 years. So I'm afraid 7 years there was no transmission fluid replacement, and also the filter was never changed. You barely can recognize it, right? It's wrapped in the oil and dust. So let's go and see what kind of fluid will come out. And I have that filter ready, so let's try that first very basic service. And everybody knows there are different ways to skin the cat. So this is my situation. I have no idea what is in it. I wanna get it out. I wanna do the basic, the very simple, right? I don't wanna be dropping that pan because I have different things, and you will see them later. They needs to be done on it. So this is quick, really quickly getting rid of the bad fluid, which I'm assuming will be bad, right? I also want to know if the quantity will be the same as the owner's manual says. So I will catch it, I will look at it and also measure it, and I will know how many quarts of the Dextron 3, right? There's supposed to be Dextron 3 in it. How many quarts it will take? Just that simple replacement. I will start with cleaning around that bolt, the drain plug bolt, right? I don't want to have any mess showing in that catching pan. I want to see purely what is the quality of the fluid. So that should be enough. I can put this back. Let's go for it. What is it? 17? What this drain plug will be? Yeah, you see, I tried 17. I guess it's the same like an engine, right? You see, it wasn't too tight. It was tight. It wasn't over tight or anything. So there is a crusher washer already coming off. I can see it. And let's see what will happen right here. Oh yeah, that's definitely out. Very interesting. But I'm very, very happy we are doing this right now. This drain plug, it's pretty big. The opening is pretty big. So if you look with me, it's fascinating from different angles looking inside and see the wiring harness and all that stuff inside of transmission. It's awesome. I love it. This tranny was draining already for 1 hour, believe it or not, right? It's still dripping, but I don't have a time to wait here anymore. So I will put a drain plug back with the new crusher washer. And the torque for this drain plug, I looked in the factory manual, which I have on the desk. It's actually 25 Newton meters. So I really quickly got my torque wrench, right, which is right here. You can see hopefully 25 on the display, and let's torque it correctly. Did you hear that? And it says 25.3. Excellent. Plug is back in position, nothing is dripping, so I was able to remove my catching pan and place it here on this little table. And as you expected and I expected, it's really worn, right? It's contaminated. Even in the thin layer, it's still very dark, right? I don't think it's catastrophic, and that explains why this transmission shifts really nicely. So I'm happy about it. I'm relieved, let's put it that way. Now before removing this filter, I would also like to clean around it, right? I don't want to remove it and then introduce some dirt inside of the transmission. That will be counterproductive. So I will work on this right now. I don't want to be taking your time watching me doing it for a couple of minutes, and then I will invite you back. Some people will just blast it with the brake cleaner, right, and really quickly brush it off. I actually don't do that, and the reason for it is the brake cleaner is really aggressive to the paint and to other parts on the vehicle. I don't want it to start damaging the gasket or damaging here possibly the o-ring around this. What you don't see right now, what I'm wiping off, it's that connector, right, where those electric wires go inside. It's seeping a little bit. There must be o-ring which is slowly failing. All this, I don't want that spray, that brake clean get on it, so I rather do it this way carefully, because it gives me some kind of certainty that I don't damage anything. Now let's see, I will say I have it clean enough around. The filter itself doesn't matter, it's coming off. Let's see how tight it is. Can I use just my hand? Will it give? It doesn't look so. And all I need is just a little help, right, to break it loose in the beginning. Hopefully it will work out. We'll see. I mean, why this will be over tight too much, I wonder, right? Oh yeah, it was tight a lot. I'm surprised. I don't know if it got stuck because it was here for too long, but wow. That was really tight, guys. Really tight. I'm glad I didn't pause the camera so you can see that struggle. That was tight. A lot. Wow. Any oil will come out of it. So I'll keep moving the garbage can, which was for cleaning, and now back to the drain pan. Oh, you nicely see actually how that fluid is dirty, right? Contaminated, even in this place. Wonderful, I love it. And who knows, this might be the original filter. I can see here Tokyo Rocky CO Ltd. It's written in Japanese and also in English. This filter, yeah, interesting. I wonder if it's original part. It's coming off very, very soon. Here we go. Excellent. I love it. And I've put back really quickly this catching pan, because I'm really curious what is the drain and fill on this tranny. It's not written in the owner's manual. In the factory repair manual it says put back what you put out. So that's great. What if the tranny was leaking? And they say what is just the full amount. It's approximately 10 quarts for absolutely everything, for cooling lines and so on, but there's nowhere info what is the drain and fill, and we will find out in this video. Probably within 30 minutes we will know this number. I can actually wait and write it down for the future. Now my supplier for this shop, it's O'Reilly. I buy most of parts from them, so I called them and asked them if they have this, right? And they said, oh yeah, we have it in the stock. So I bought it from them for this vehicle. It's a VIX made in USA 51365. I believe this retails for approximately 16 bucks. right? So that's nothing. The Dexron 3, which will go in it, it's also very cheap. So once again, I think we should be on top of this maintenance more often, right? Some people will say, what they will say, well, I will do 3 oil changes and 1, right? 1 automatic transmission drain and fill. That's pretty good idea, I think. I don't know how long I will keep this Project Impreza, but I might try it. If I will keep it, I will film it for you. You will see how it will look after these 3 cycles. So yeah, let's go with this. I hope it will fit and we will move on really quickly. Now, how we will torque that filter, right? That's a good question. I will just hand tight it as hard as I can, and I know it will stay there. It will not fall off, and it will be still less than it was. The factory manual makes here some crazy complicated calculation how to tie it. So I wrote a hand tie, that's my note. But if you want to go in such a detail, here are all those numbers for you. And as you can hear and as you can see, this thing keeps going, it keeps running that fluid out. It makes me happy because I would like to change as much as I can, right? So the fact it keeps running, it takes time, obviously. Fortunately, it's end of the day, it's 6 p.m. I have all the time I need, and I will let it go. And after that, I will take the measurement, what came out, because that will be great. We can replace more than if we just stopped. That's awesome. This camcorder, it's not very small, so I cannot get really super close, but I'm trying my best to show you as much detail as I can and not sacrificing the camera. It will be splattering on it or something. So yeah, that's for you. This is what I see while I'm standing here. So that drip really slowed down after like 20 minutes, so I'm ready to put that new filter on. So I will get tiny bit of that fluid, put it on that rubber gasket, right? Always just tiny bit of it. And I'm ready to hand install it, right? Everything is clean, the mating surface is clean, and I will hand tight it pretty tight, right? I will be not using any tools, any special tools or anything. I know it will not fall off, and that's it. Let me show you the results. I love it. I'm absolutely excited with this. New filter is on tranny. Now I will go really quickly to clean it all around, and I can drop her down and start filling it using that dipstick tube. Now how much fluid I got out? I have here full 5 quarts, and I still have a little bit left in that catching pan. So let me pour it out and fill in the rest of it. And this is the end from the catching pan, and I'm looking down here, and it basically shows on this half quart. So I got out 5.5 quarts of the Dexron 3 when we know the whole system has 10 quarts. So I think this is great because I basically remove a little bit more than half of it. That's great. How do I get those 5.5 quarts inside? Well, I will use that dipstick tube. Do you see that yellow pool? That's the dipstick itself, right? So I will need to make space here for the funnel which will fit inside. I'm pulling this dipstick right now. Hopefully it will go easier than last time, because that was a nightmare. Oh yeah. Here comes the dipstick itself, right? So it's coming out. I will just leave it here, and I'm going right in that tube. Again, I would like to show you. See it right there, right? In that tube I'm putting the long funnel, and very carefully and slowly I will be pulling it in, pouring it in. Obviously the dipstick tube, it's narrow, so you cannot pour it really fast, otherwise it will start overflowing everywhere. This is how these funnels looks like, right? So it's super long and it has a narrow end which will fit in that dipstick tube. And now I have to carefully, right, without spills, pour 5.5 quarts of that Dexron 3 transmission fluid. And you really have to be patient with this. Don't rush it, because it will start leaking around that top of that dipstick tube. You will make a lot of mess. So now where am I? To be in reality, I just put back what was there, right? I measured it, I added that amount back, but I need to really adjust the level. What if there was a missing fluid? The transmission was still shifting great, but what if it needs more, right? And that's why you have this dipstick. And if you look on the bottom, there are two sets of marks. The low ones are for the cold temperature, and the top ones are the low and full, or low and high, for the warm temperature. So I highly recommend you adjust the level using the hot, which is the top one, right? Cold and hot. So right now I will start it up. We'll let it idle. I will put it in. I know I have roughly good amount, right? So I can go on the test drive, warm up the engine, and then on the level ground I will start measuring it. So wiping this clean off, putting it back while the engine is in the park, right? After that test drive, when everything is hot, wiping it, putting it in and measuring. And I need to go on that top, right? I need to reach the very top, right? Thank you for watching, and be subscribed. I have way more about Subarus coming your way on this Auto Resource channel. See you later, my friend.